hey, maybe we should increase funding for pediatric cancer research. You know, since children are literally dying. Ooh, that's a cute idea. But what if instead we cut $1.8 billion in the National Institute of Health's research funding, clinical trials, pediatric mental health studies, and cancer screenings? But that research and funding saves children's lives. Well, then tell those kids to get a job like the rest of us. Okay, well, surely we're investing in public health infrastructure, though. You know, with the whole global pandemic we just went through. Oh, no. We actually laid off over 20,000 FDA and CDC staff, because what's the point of having scientists when we have Jesus and bleach? And besides, those vaccines aren't saving lives, they're causing autism. You fired the people responsible for disease prevention and drug safety? Yeah, there were just too many PhDs in the room and not enough Trump Bibles. Okay, real question. How about we at least fund the office that investigates human trafficking? Oh, we got that too. 71% of their staff, gone. Grants for victim services, canceled. Multi-million-dollar anti-trafficking programs, slashed. But don't worry, we're still super into saving the children. Just, like, vaguely. As in before they're born. As in, like, at conception. Once that baby's pushed out, we don't give a fuck. You nuked the trafficking office in an administration where the president's name shows up in the Epstein files multiple times? Coincidence. I know. So let me get this straight. Cancer research has been cut. Medicaid and food assistance has been slashed. Public health defunded. Anti-human trafficking programs obliterated. And we still don't have universal health care, a living wage, and access to affordable housing. Now you're getting it! So where the hell is all that money going? I'm so glad you asked. A $200 million golden ballroom. A ballroom? For the president! To host events, you know, twirl, dance. But people can't afford insulin. Golden ballroom. People are dying of preventable diseases. Come here. Yeah, a little closer. Ballroom. This seems deeply unethical and idiotic. Shut the fuck up, you radical leftist commie scum! Oh, we're so fucked. Great news, everyone! The United States is officially on the Human Rights Watch list! Hi, everyone. If you're new, welcome. If you're not, you know what fucking time it is, bitch. It's time for the Daily Scream. The reason we're on the Human Rights Watch list? Well, the U.S. is rated as narrow. That means our government says we can exercise our rights and freedoms, but our rights and freedoms are also constantly being violated. Examples? Military force on protesters, silencing and arresting journalists, ICE raids, ICE kidnapping people who are literally U.S. citizens or here visiting on vacation, defunding PBS and NPR, and us being on a Human Rights Watch list actually makes a lot of sense, because we have men like Kyle Langford running for governor of California who felt comfortable enough to post this. And I cannot stress this enough. He felt comfortable enough to post this because of the current administration. A photoshopped image of him at Auschwitz with the caption, "My 0% unemployment plan." That's not even a dog whistle. That's a fucking air raid siren. And when people were like, hey, is this a joke? Because it's not funny. He said, I wasn't joking. I think it's exactly what is needed to stabilize California. Let's be crystal clear. This isn't just extremely offensive. It's genocidal. It's a proud public endorsement of forced labor camps as governance. We are watching, in real time, the rise of white Christian nationalist fascism. And to top off all of that, did you know ICE is now forgiving student loans if you join them? Yeah, student loan forgiveness is canceled unless you're deporting families. Want to become debt-free? All you have to do is become an agent of state violence. They're offering $50,000 signing bonuses and student loan forgiveness to recruit more people to arrest immigrants under Trump's deportation agenda. The same administration who froze Biden's student loan forgiveness plan is now saying, what if we forgave student loans for ICE agents? And while all of this is happening, Trump is blowing up the Constitution with fireworks. He's signing executive orders without judicial reviews, ignoring Supreme Court rulings, and using the Marines like they're fucking mall cops. Checks and balances? Never heard of her. Freedom of speech? Not if you're a journalist. Public media? Defunded. Oh, you support Palestine? Yeah, we're detaining you. This is a full-blown fascist acceleration. And for everybody who kept saying, but this could never happen here, it is happening here. And it's not just happening here. It's happening with funding, with laws, with recruitment campaigns. And if you think this won't touch you because you're not a journalist, protester, or an immigrant, let me remind you there are people like Kyle Langford who think Auschwitz is a good jobs plan. So ask yourselves, how far away from those camp gates are you? As you're all hopefully well aware, the Astronomer fiasco that occurred during a Coldplay concert in which the CEO of Astronomer, Andy Byron, was caught embracing his HR chief, Kristen Cabot, and that took the internet by fucking storm. Now, there are a million different ways Astronomer's PR team could have gone about this entire situation, and honestly, whoever is in charge of PR at Astronomer, babe, you deserve a fucking raise, because this by far is one of my favorite ads to have come out of 2025. Like, this ad alone, in my opinion, is like Super Bowl commercial worthy.
Thank you for your interest in Astronomer. Hi, I'm Gwyneth Paltrow. I've been hired on a very temporary basis to speak on behalf of the 300 plus employees at Astronomer. Astronomer has gotten a lot of questions over the last few days, and they wanted me to answer the most common ones. Yes, Astronomer is the best place to run Apache Airflow.
You guys hired Gwyneth Paltrow, had a list of questions involving this scandal that took over the internet for weeks. And instead of answering those questions, she completely avoided them and just talked about the company. I'm telling you, whoever is in charge of PR at Astronomer, you deserve a raise. Woohoo! Yes, we did it, America! You see, this is what happens when you create a government that makes raising kids feel like you're competing in the fucking Squid Games. In the US, we've officially hit a fertility rate of 1.6 babies per woman. For context here, 2.1 babies per woman is the number we need just to replace ourselves. We haven't hit that since 2007. And now, we're at an all-time low. Because, shocker, when you have zero affordable childcare, no guaranteed parental leave, healthcare that's basically a slot machine, and a housing market that looks like the Hunger Games series, people aren't exactly lining up to have kids. But don't you worry, the Trump administration has a plan. And by plan, I mean absolutely not addressing the real problems at all. They're tossing out ideas like baby bonuses, because $1,000 definitely makes up for 18 years of bills. And they're also trying to make IVF cheaper, which would be good if it weren't for the fact that insurance companies aren't required to cover IVF, so most people still can't afford it. Here's the thing. People aren't not having kids because they hate babies. Like, nobody's walking around being like, ew, baby, gross. Well, maybe some people are, I don't know. But I think the real birth control we've all been experiencing is looking at our government and thinking, how the fuck do you raise a child in this economy without selling a goddamn kidney? So yeah, if the fertility rate is tanking, maybe that says less about American morals and more about the fact that the US treats parents like unpaid interns. Maybe it's the simple fact that people can barely afford healthcare, let alone put food on the table for more than one person. But sure, yeah, let's keep throwing symbolic band-aids at the issue and pretend like it's working. Trump is out here trying to downplay his ties to Jeffrey Epstein again, and his latest defense?
I never had the privilege of going to his island. I never had the privilege of...
Privilege? Sir. A privilege is when you get an upgrade to first class on a United flight. Not when you decline an invitation to a pedophile island. Hi everyone, if you're new, welcome. If you're not, you know what fucking time it is, bitch. It's time for the Daily Scream. To me, this looks like a Freudian slip. Accidentally saying it would have been a privilege, as if it would have been an honor to go to this island. Because how else is that supposed to sound? And of course, in that same breath, Trump starts screaming about the Clintons. What about the Clintons? The Clintons went to Epstein Island. Bitch, let's set the record straight here. You pointing the finger at other people who attended gatherings at this disgusting island does not help your case. If you went to Epstein's Island, I hope your cellmate is a life-sized cockroach. This isn't a let's point the finger issue. This is a stop trafficking children and trying to cover it up issue. Meanwhile, Trump's Justice Department is interviewing Ghislaine Maxwell, the woman who helped Epstein recruit, groom, and traffic minors, and they're interviewing her as if she's actually gonna spill the beans and not just say exactly what Trump wants to hear in exchange for her pardon. Because yes, Trump has left the door wide open for pardoning her. The same man who called her a brazen liar in 2020. But now he's acting like she's had some mysterious spiritual awakening and suddenly wants to tell the truth. Oh, and guess who's doing the interview? Todd Blanche, Trump's former personal lawyer. Yeah, because that seems totally unbiased. This whole shit show reeks of corruption, and this isn't the first time Trump's dangled pardons in people's faces to protect himself. We got Paul Manafort, who was Trump's former campaign chairman. He was investigated for financial crimes and shady ties to pro-Russian politicians. And investigators wanted him to give up information about Trump's possible coordination with Russia. Instead, he lied to investigators and refused to fully cooperate to protect Trump. He was pardoned by Trump. Michael Flynn, who was Trump's former national security advisor. He pleaded guilty to lying to the FBI about his Russian contacts, and when he had a chance to fully cooperate against Trump, he didn't. He stuck to protecting Trump's narrative and was then rewarded with what? A pardon from Trump. Then we have Michael Cohen, who was Trump's personal lawyer, and at first, Trump hinted at pardoning him, but Cohen decided to tell investigators everything he knew about Trump, and he wasn't pardoned. Do you see the pattern here? Do you? Stay loyal? Get pardoned. Flip on Trump, no pardon. So what I'm assuming is gonna happen is Ghislaine Maxwell is gonna be interviewed. She's not gonna say a single bad thing about Donald Trump. And because she's gonna cover for his ass, she's gonna get pardoned. So no, Donald, just because you keep screaming about the fucking Clintons, that doesn't mean everyone's gonna forget your past actions. In fact, lock those bitches up too if they're guilty. Lock all of you up, bitch!